again. This is Mark and Linda Wardell from the Freedom and Virtue Institute, and we're going to bring you another cooking video today. This time we're going to make chocolate chip muffins. These are very lovely, and the recipe that we're making will make 12 muffins. So where's our muffin pan, Miss Linda? Let me just show everybody what, so we have a muffin pan that is able to take 12 muffins. So this recipe will do one muffin pan of this size. Okay, thanks Miss Linda. Let me just take you through the ingredients that we'll be using today. We will be using flour, white sugar, brown sugar, baking powder, salt, milk, vegetable oil, as you can see here. We'll have 1 egg in this recipe, and we'll have chocolate chips. We'll need bowls, a large bowl and a smaller bowl, and various mixing and measuring utilities. Okay, so here's a close-up of the recipe that we'll be using today that I will put into this video as a PDF later on. So the ingredients are listed here and the amounts of them, and then the method that we will use to make the muffins, and you'll see that later on in a PDF. Okay, Miss Linda, would you like to take us away? The first thing that we're going to do is turn our oven on to 400 degrees, and you'll see that Miss Linda has already done that for us. So the oven is preheating right now while we make the mixture. So after that, we are going to take a large bowl, this bowl here, and we're going to add our flour to it. 2 cups of flour. There's 1, and there's 2. 2 cups of flour.
It's 1.
Oh, sorry, she's using a half cup measure. So now we need 4 of those for 2. Great, there's our 2 cups of flour. The next thing that goes in there will be half a cup of white sugar for the dough, but we will need a little more sugar later, as you'll see, for the topping. So here's a half cup measure again, and that will be added into the bowl with the flour. And the next thing will be 3 tablespoons. No, that's for the topping later. So 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, here we go. There's 1, 2, and 3. Next will be a half a teaspoon of salt that we have here. Half a teaspoon of salt into the bowl of dry ingredients. There's a half teaspoon measure. Into the bowl it goes. And so there's our dry ingredients that Miss Linda's just going to mix around and combine together before we add our wet ingredients. Okay. Now it does say in our method that we can add our chocolate chips to that at this time. So we should add our 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips, and we can stir those in just a little bit as well. And there's that's mixed up pretty well. Now into a small bowl, this smaller one, we're going to combine our milk, and the milk we need is 3/4 of a cup. 3/4 of a cup of milk, and we have a measuring jug here that has 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4 of a cup of milk on it. That goes in. The next to go into there will be the oil, the vegetable oil. We need a half a cup of vegetable oil. We can use the same cup for that. And we'll go up now to the half cup level. That will get added to the milk into the small bowl. And then the next thing and the last thing to add to this small bowl will be an egg. Our egg goes in. And now we mix these three together well. The egg, the oil, and the milk. As much as milk and oil will mix together. And Miss Linda, what are you using to mix that?
I'm going to use a whisk. It'll be easier.
That's called a whisk.
Line it.
Alright, so we just mix that together as well as it will go. Remember, oil and water don't mix very well, and milk is largely water, but it does have emulsifying agents in it, which is amazing. Now we're going to add the contents of the small bowl, the wet mixture, to the dry, and stir with a fork until the dry ingredients are moist, but don't over mix at this time. Would you like to speak to that, Miss Linda? What are they doing rather than, what would over mixing cause, and what are we happy with?
Well, we can't have it lumpy. Well, it will be lumpy. You don't keep mixing it until it's smooth.
Alright, so there's what it looks like. Have you done mixing that, Miss Linda?
I have done mixing.
Alright, so we don't want to over mix into a fully smooth mixture. It's not necessary, and it doesn't work as well. Okay, so it says in your instructions the mixture should remain a little lumpy, which it is. Now we're going to fill each muffin cup in the pan here. We've got these paper muffin cups.
Now, if you don't have those, you can always spray if you have some cooking spray.
Alright, if you don't have the paper, then just put a little cooking spray into the bottom of the muffin cups so they don't stick. But we want to use the papers and then present the muffins to those who will eat them in the paper, and they can just peel them out. And now we're going to add these until they're about 2/3 full, so that we get 12 out of them. The mixture should be enough for 12. So Miss Linda's adding the mixture to the muffin cups in the muffin pan, as you can see. Alright, and we'll make sure that it is all used up. There's 7.
If there's some left over, we'll just fill up the ones that some of these other pans.
9, 10, 11,
Whoops.
and 12. So we do have a little left over, so we can add that to the some of these other ones until all of the dough is used for making a muffin. So the guideline of about 2/3 full in each one is a guideline, but this just evenly distributed into 12 muffins. Alright.
They're going to rise, and which is what you want it to do.
Now, will those various segments that you have added latterly, after putting in the first bit, will they merge well with the muffins, Miss Linda?
Oh, yes.
Good. So now we're just going to put a topping on these muffins, and the topping is just sugar. So we're going to mix together 3 tablespoons of white sugar, and Miss Linda's got a little bowl here. And well, you're doing the brown sugar first. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 1, 2, and now 3 tablespoons of white sugar. There we go. And then we'll mix those 2 together, and that's our topping. So 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of white sugar. Mix those together and use it as a topping for the muffins. So you'll see Miss Linda's mixing those into a nice consistency, and then just sprinkle them on to the muffin patties as they are at this point, like this. Use it all up once again.
No, we don't have to use it.
You don't have to use it all up. You just
No.
All right. So you're just putting a reasonably liberal amount
Yeah.
on each one.
Now we're ready for the
Get
oven.
close up so you can see the sugar. And now they're ready to go in the oven. Has the oven finished preheating?
Yes.
Okay, it has. So into the oven they go. And how long are we going to cook these
It
for?
says 20 to 25, so I'm going to put it on for 20, and then we can check it to see if it needs a little bit longer.
Alright, 20 minutes it's going to cook for, and we will check them at 20 minutes and see if they need a little bit longer. So we're just going to pause the video here right now, and we're going to wait the 20 minutes cook time, and I'll come back with you just prior to taking them out of the oven as we check them to see if they need a little longer in the cooking. So that was pretty quick, wasn't it? It doesn't take very long to make these muffins. In fact, if you get up a little bit earlier in the morning, you'll be able to make them fresh for breakfast. That's how quick it is. Okay, we'll see you back here in 20 minutes. Well, we're back and we have about 30 seconds left on the timer before our 20-minute cook time is up. So Miss Linda's about to take these muffins out of the oven, and we're going to place them on this cooling tray. Can you see that? This will help them cool more efficiently because it'll take them out of the hot muffin pan. And so that's what's going to happen. We've got 5 seconds. Let's take a look at them when Miss Linda opens the door to see if they need a little bit longer or not. There's the end of the cook time, and let's see them come out of the oven here. They look pretty good. How are we going to tell, Miss Linda?
Well, we can press them. I've also got a toothpick here. I'll put it in the middle.
And what happens if it sticks to the toothpick?
If the dough comes off and sticks to the toothpick, it means it has to go back into the oven. But this is clear.
So these look like they're done. Alright, so let's show people how we take them out of there and put them on this cooling tray. So that was a 20-minute cook in our oven. Different ovens often require different lengths of time for the same ingredients. So your oven may be a little hotter and therefore faster than our oven. It'll be more efficient. I know a temperature is supposed to be an accurate temperature, but it's, the amount, how high you set your tray up in the oven makes a difference. So there are factors that play into how long we should be cooking in different ovens. And if you've done a lot of cooking, you'll know that.
And by using these little patty pans, it made sure that they come straight out and they don't stick.
There we go. So
there we go, and that will now cool.
There are our chocolate chip muffins, and you know, you let them cool for at least a minute before you eat them, but they're best fresh. They have a little bit of sugar on the surface of them, as you saw us place on as a topping. But there's chocolate chip muffins done very quickly. You could even get up in the morning before you have your shower, make your dough. As you saw, it didn't take very long. Put them in the oven to cook while you have your shower. Come down, take them out, and there's a wonderful breakfast for the whole family. Well, we'd like to encourage children to do this and to maybe package these. You could package them as singles by putting a little plastic bag on them, or maybe as 2s or 4s or 6s of them at a time, and you can sell them and make a little money. And that would be a great little micro enterprise for you to begin your entrepreneurial efforts with. So we hope that you've enjoyed this video on how to make chocolate chip muffins, a recipe that makes 12 that we'll put up on the back of this video. And so for now, this is Mark and Linda Wardell signing off from the Freedom and Virtue Institute, and we hope that you enjoy these. They really do taste very nice. Thank you for watching. Please go to fvinstitute.org, F for freedom, V for virtue, the Freedom and Virtue Society website, fvinstitute.org, and you can see more arts and crafts videos or cooking videos that you can start your micro enterprise entrepreneurial business with. Good luck, everyone.